Welcome to the BBR 1942 setup. It's a play test. We're going to label this the Corona version, game one. We're all players that are stuck at home most of the time, so we're going to throw in a game. Hopefully this lockdown, so to speak, is over before we get this game done. That would be nice. But before I get with the game, I want to throw a shout out to Wayne Dolly, and he had left a comment in a bunch of videos ago because I was having a hard time getting these up off the board. They were flipping over, they were doing all sorts of nasty things, and he suggested gluing two together. So I took the blacks and I glued them on some reds and yellows that I used to mark, battles and non-com movements. And I'll be darned if that isn't a good idea. I mean, it's really easy to pick up, and it gives it a little bit of a 3D look there. So thanks, Wayne. That was a good idea. Let's go first to Germany's turn. Germany actually did inflict some casualties on Russia there, the 7 on the left, but as usual in this setup, they take a beating on the first turn. So now I've got to recover. Swing over here to my buy. It's kind of hard to see the black units there, but I've got 3 subs, 3 artillery, 2 infantry, and a minor factory, and that is my $48. And then I had 5 that I spent on my tech, which will not be revealed. I am going to hang on to that nugget, and because I don't need it, so we're going to save it for when we need it. All right, so only one battle down here in the med. We're going to move 2 subs down in there. Try and take out that cruiser. And when you look at this setup, and Russia's gone through its turn, Germany basically has 2 infantry on the front line. And then, of course, there's these 4 mechs that can be sacrificed if you wanted. So there isn't a whole lot of options for counterattacks, but we're going to do it. We're going to send a infantry that way and infantry this way, and we're going to send 1 mech into here because we want to get rid of that artillery. That's his tech, so we're going to try and get that. So I've got these 2 planes coming in from Poland. They got 3 movement left. And up north, I've got a fighter from Berlin with 2 left, and then a tactical from Western Germany, which will also have 2 left. So we're going to be relying on that target select in taking out some Russian units. I'm looking for my dice. How about I didn't bring dice over? Hang on a second. There you go. These are the closest dice I can find. So let's go with the sub battle first, because you're supposed to technically start with amphibious and naval battles. So right there, we've got 2 2s for those subs, and I'm using the hit dice, same ones that Corporal just used if you watched that video. So put it over here. If one of these is a hit, it's also a first strike because there's no destroyer. All right, that battle is over. So that is the good news. So that cruiser is gone, does not get to return fire, and we are set up for some convoy. Another convoy marker there. UK player can lose all his money. All right, so let's set that down, and we'll go up to the northern battles. And I'll just set this here while I get the dice out. So each battle, well, I guess the Russian is the same. They both each have 2 2s. The Germans are going to have 1 target select in each battle and 1 fighter. 2 1s in Ukraine and 1 1 in the Baltic. And I don't really care about Baltic. I'm just doing that because he's on the front line and I want to kill something. Those planes got to have something to do, right? All right, so we will go ahead and roll the Ukraine battle first. So here is the target select. I'm going to target that artillery. Thank you. Thanks for not participating. Regular roll, 1 hit. So Russia replies with, can you see? Yeah, that's in there, no hits. All right. So now I can bring in that target select, which is not a target select now, but it rolls at a 3. And 2 hits, so Russia's down to 1 guy, which, slide that out, it missed. All right, so Russia loses that battle. Breaks my heart. All right, so the northern battle in Baltic states, we have 1 target select, which is a hit, so that means there is only 1 Russian return unit. So I got a 3 and a 1 for the infantry and fighter. There's the other hit. Russia has a return fire of 1 infantry, which hits, so I don't take the territory. I'm not going to lose a plane. And I killed the 2 Russian guys. All right. And as I look over the board, that is the only battles. So with that in mind, let me set this over here. I'll do the non-coms. And before I get carried away, let's move the Ukraine up 2, or not the Ukraine, Germany up 2, Russia down 2. All right, so I can get these red markers off the board. They are done. I really do like that idea of gluing those 2 together. That has worked out nicely. All right, so we are going to land these 2 planes into Bessarabia. All right, we are going to march 1 guy into Poland. This plane is going to fly from Romania down to, and you can't see it on the board. We're coming down here to Libya. We've got the bomber coming down with 2 infantry in a transport mode into Libya. Put out my little transport marker. All right, that way we know he doesn't get a defense roll. All right, and I think I'm gonna bring 1 more fighter down here, but I'm gonna wait and see what the rest of the board looks like before I do that. All right, gotta get everything in line there. There we go. Don't need the dice anymore. All right, so before I go any further, these red little houses is marking the new victory objectives. You know, you've got to have all of those for, what is it, the 3rd rank over here, and then there's 2 on the Japan side for, and I can't remember if it's the Rising Sun or the Empire. Germany had it to start the game, but they lost it, losing the Baltic states, but honestly, it's on the front line, so I'm not worried about it right now. All right, so let's keep moving. These 3 mechs are driving down to Bessarabia. Tank, 2 infantry. This was to remind me I was going to stack all this stuff in Bessarabia. All right, so we'll get that chip out of here. All right, here's another tank. Here's another tank. Let's get that marker out of there. We're going to run out of room quick here. I'll have to chip that out when we're done. All right, so Bessarabia. We have this guy moving 1. Nope, we're not going to do that. Because, yes, I'm railing all those. We're going to move that guy 1. We're going to use, and I marked all these 5, because I can rail 5 units there. So it's a tank, anti-aircraft gun, and 3 artilleries down into Bessarabia. We're defending the most useless piece of territory on the front line. but they'll never see it coming. All right, southern Germany guy is just going to march into northern Italy. This transport's going to take the Denmark and a tank up to Norway. The two Norway guys are sliding over to Finland. This fighter is coming down to western Germany. This fighter and this TAC are coming into western Germany. And this is the fighter I'm debating if I'm going to send to Libya. I'll do that one last. All right, so from here, we haven't railed anything. So we can rail 3. 1, 2, 3. So we're going to rail them. We're not going to rail them because I want them up closer north here. Oh yeah, I forgot these planes here in Baltic have 2 left. 1, 2. They join in Bessarabia. Let's get that marker out of there. All right, so France. Let's see, that's all in there. So we're going to take 1, 2, 3, 4, because we can rail 4 there. 1, 2, 3. So we've railed all that into Slovakia, Hungary. You know what? I think I want that AA gun to stay because Joe mentioned that we're using the flyover anti-aircraft gun rule. So I want to try and block that bomber from getting a direct way. I mean, you know, odds are it's not going to get a hit, but it might. You never know. Never know. All right, so the ships. We're going to slide the destroyer. What can they go? Yeah, destroyer there, transport here. Oh, you know what? If I put the transport here, there's 2 transports, so that would defend in a 1.
I really think I'm good. All I need are more seats.
All right, so this mech is driving up to Romania. The infantry is marching to Romania. All right, we got this infantry. We can rail 3 spaces. So we can rail him 1, 2, 3, Romania, or Warsaw. Let's do Warsaw so that tank doesn't come flying in there. And it still might, but yeah, you're right. If he wants to send a tank in there, do it. So we'll send him south to Romania. All right. That means in France, these 2 guys can rail 3. 1, 2, 3. So they are into Romania. We're going to rail this artillery to northern Italy. And this tank will rail 1, 2, 3 to Yugoslavia. And that looks like that's all of the rail movements. So let's see. We're going to drive the tank there and the infantry there, and we'll just rail them next turn wherever they need to be. All right, so I got 3 planes here. There's really no threat, so I am going to fly that down to Libya. And I think I'm ready to place units. Oh yeah, I want to send my sub up north there to get into this Lend-Lease zone. So here's 1, 2, 3. We're going to send this sub out to the open water. And I think that is it. Let's place our units. I got this here to remind me to roll this convoy. So we're going to place a sub off Norway, sub off southern France, and a sub in the English Channel. I say that. How about we place 2 there? If he wants those, he's really going to have to come get them. All right, so we've got a factory going in Yugoslavia. We've got an infantry artillery in France. Now we're going to back that guy up and see what happens there. All right, so that leaves 2 artillery and an infantry we'll place here in Germany.
I got sheep too.
All right, I think that is a wrap.
Do you need one? Well, do you need both?
The Germans will get 2 national objectives,
Give it to you for free.
5 subs, and then Norway, Denmark, so that'll be an extra $10. Their income is at 47, so that will be $57. I'll put that money out. And let's look at recap here. And we will start in the south. In Libya is a air transport, 3 infantry, 1 mech, 1 tank, 2 fighters. C-Zone 98, 2 subs on convoy duty. C-Zone 95, destroyer and a transport. C-Zone 93, a sub. C-Zone 105, a sub. C-Zone 112, 2 subs. C-Zone 126, a sub. Norway, infantry, tank. Finland, 5 infantry. C-Zone 113, destroyer, cruiser, transport. And then I think I can set this here for the rest of those.
Take something that I gave.
All right, France, 2 infantry, artillery, and a AA gun. Western Germany, AA gun, infantry, tank, 2 fighters, 1 tactical. Berlin, 1 infantry, 2 artillery. Northern Italy, infantry, artillery. Yugoslavia, tank. Greece, infantry.
I killed them and threw them all.
Slovakia, Hungary, 3 tanks, 1 infantry. Warsaw, 1 infantry. Eastern Poland, 1 infantry. Western Ukraine, 1 mech, 1 infantry. And Romania, 1, 2, 3 infantry, 1 mech, 1 tank. And now for the big call off here in Besabaria. 1 AA gun, 2 Stukas, 2 fighters, 2 infantry, 3 artillery, 3 mech, 4 tanks.
Oh my god.
And I believe that's it. All right. I will submit that video for your approval, and we will wait on the United Kingdom, which I believe is Joe, who will probably be doing that tomorrow.